Where the Wild Things Are. Story and pictures by Maurice Sendak. Look at those awesome wild things. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind. He's pounding a nail into the wall. And another. He's chasing his dog with a fork. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew. And grew. And grew until his ceiling hung with vines, and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day, and in and out of weeks, and almost over a year to where the wild things are. Look at that wild thing. Isn't it awesome? And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened, and they called him the most wild thing of all, and made him king of all wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." They're howling at the moon. They're swinging in the trees. And they're having some kind of parade. "Now stop," Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then, all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. And sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day. And into the night of his very own room where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. That's a great story, but the illustrations are fantastic, and they're really a good example of what we're going to be doing. This week, we're going to be making up our own wild thing. So let's take a look at these wild things. Wild things are kind of like people, but they have lots of different animal parts that are all mixed up and added together. So, let's look at this guy. It almost looks like he has a stripy shirt on, but that's his fur. He has claws like a tiger. He has legs with big scales on them, like some fictitious bird. He has horns, hair, like a human, very sharp teeth. I don't know what kind of face that is. And then he has almost like a cat tail or a horse tail. We have this one with the claws and the long hair like a human, but then it has some kind of like bird feet and then fur on the body. This one has a bull's head, but with sharp teeth and sharp claws and human feet. This is some kind of cockatoo bird with sharp claws. And then this one has a rhino horn coming out of its nose, but it has a human-looking nose with sharp teeth, sharp claws, sharp toes, but long hair. So a wild thing is just a crazy mixed up creature. So you're going to be creating your own crazy mixed up creature today. And that will be in part 2 of this assignment.